Hi all, welcome to our Jesus and Leadership course. I'm Dr. Jenny Harrop. I am your instructor for this term, and I'm also chair of the Department of Professional Studies, also director of the Portland Writing Center, which if you haven't tried out, I encourage you to at some point this term. It is free to you, and there are easy online appointments that you can make just by going to the website. So excited to journey with you for the next 8 weeks. Couple things I want you to note on the syllabus. One is for discussion forums, and this is not necessarily on the syllabus, but something that I did a little differently with the course that I just ended this last night. Actually, some of you are in that course, is to make all of the discussion forums video. So just as I'm sharing a video with you here, I'm going to ask you, and you'll notice it already on discussion forum 1, to make just a brief video. There'll be 3 to 4 minute videos. In fact, in the Foxtail discussion forum, it's going to time you out at 4 minutes. So the only thing you have to watch for is to make sure that you fit yourself within that time slot, or it cuts off pretty strictly. The reason for that is sort of the curiosity of this time. So most of us are under we're all under stay-home orders of some kind, but a lot of us under fairly strict stay-home orders. And I think it's important in an online course for us to see one another, to hear from one another. I'm going to see your writing as you respond to each other in the discussion forums and then in your response papers that you're submitting each week anyway. So I would prefer to see your faces and hear from you, and just make sure that everybody's doing okay. This is a difficult time. It's changing so quickly every day, every week, and it honestly, in the next 8 weeks, can you even imagine where we might be in 4 weeks, let alone 8 weeks? It's very difficult to determine. So I think it's healthy for us to be checking in and seeing one another. So just be forewarned, discussion forums, they're going to be videos, but please don't be anxious about that. If that's not something you've done before, you should be able to just click on the camera icon on the discussion forum. Let me know if you have any difficulties. There are other ways to do that as well if for some reason your computer's not behaving as it's supposed to. And please don't tape them over and over. This is not a speech class. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for you to respond to whatever the prompt is that I've given you. And typically it'll be to watch a TED Talk, something similar, and then respond to it based on your own experiences, based on the reading that we're doing, based on discussions that we've had. So don't stress about it. I know some students who've taped them 4 or 5 times over trying to get the perfect video. That's not what we're looking for. This is really to be considered like a classroom discussion. Just as I do these instructor videos, I also don't tape them over and over. So if a cat walks in or a kid knocks on the door, so be it. I'm just looking for us to act almost as if we're in class together. Now, we're not doing this synchronously, so we're not at the same time where we're actually able to speak back and forth, but it's one way for us to connect. And I think in this time when our connections are reduced, it's really important that we do connect. So take note, you're going to be recording videos each week. And you'll notice that I'm very careful about that each week you'll see a very distinct pattern to the course. And if you've had courses with me before, they're very similar in most courses that I teach depending on the content. So the prompts certainly will be different and the content is very different, but you'll see a pattern of discussion forum responses due, response paper due, a certain amount of reading due, and that's on purpose because I don't want you anxious about which thing is due when and what am I supposed to be thinking about. I just want you focused and diving into the content. So our content for this course is some of my favorites. I think you'll enjoy both the text, which make sure that you're able to click on those links and access them. If you're like me, you might like paper also, so they are available. That's the wrong side. They are available to purchase. They're not very expensive if you want to own them, if you enjoy them. So we're going to be starting with this one, and all I'm asking you to do for this first week is just to read the first half. These aren't very long books. I think you'll find that they read fairly quickly, and so for this week you're asked to read the first half and just respond to it. In terms of the content, I'm going to be pressing you a little bit into our current situation. So I think it would be a mistake to approach the content and ignore really a historical moment that we're all experiencing. So as leaders or as potential leaders in whatever scope that might be for you, I'm going to be pressing you into what that means, how you might be intentionally reacting, responding, what kind of impact you're having on those around you. I think too often, especially in situations like this, we become internally focused in order to self-preserve. And that can be okay because there's a space for that as well. But we also forget the enormity of the impact that we have even when we step outside our homes, or if we're on the internet, when we make any kind of a move, a comment, even just a like. The impact that we have can reverberate in ways that we aren't always cognizant of. And that's something that as leaders we must be. So you're going to find me asking you about your purpose in any communication, and your understanding of your audience is so critical. So you're going to hear those words again and again, both on your papers and just pressing you into maybe different work situations or home situations, or for some of you, church situations that you're in. Are you very aware of who your audience is? And by knowing your audience, are you able to communicate your purpose in the most effective way possible? Those are things we're going to think about. We're also going to be talking about what IQ means, why that's even a thing, what is EQ, and what does that mean? And eventually you're going to see us sort of sliding into the New Testament about halfway through our course. I always find that it's about the point that students are saying, when are we going to talk about Jesus? It'll come. And as we slide in there, I want you thinking about some of these, what we might consider contemporary terms, really 20th and 21st century terms of IQ and EQ. How do those relate to Jesus, the Jesus that we see in the Gospels, and what can we learn from that? What can you personally take away? In every course that you take in our department, I hope that you are pressing into personally, what are you able to take away? What is your goal for this degree? And therefore, what is your goal for this course? What are you hoping to learn? What are you hoping to add to your repertoire? How are you hoping to become a better person? And every single assignment, what one thing or what 6 things can you take away from this assignment? What can you apply at work tomorrow? For those of you who are still working, some of you I know are still going to work, probably not as many of you, and some of you, like me, may be working from home. And so what does that mean? What impact can you have? What can you take away just from this book this week that you might test in a certain place, and then come back to the rest of us and tell us how it went? On your papers, I just want to forewarn you, make sure that they are in proper 7th edition APA format. You will see at the top of our Foxtail page an APA sample paper and an APA template. Use them. So the template, the purpose of the template is that you download it onto your computer and then you fill in your information. And then I would suggest every time you write a new paper, just copy that, do a save as, and recreate it as a new document so that you never have to worry again about the proper formatting in terms of the margins, the title page, all of those elements. I will ask you for a references page every time you have a reference, which you should be including outside sources, especially just from our course content and or the TED Talks, and there may be an occasion where I'm asking you to draw from other sources as well. Make sure that your APA is the best of your ability. I will put copious, those of you who have me before, copious, right, comments in the right margin, just trying to guide you. If you see corrections on grammar mechanics, I'm not looking for things that are subjective. I'm assuming that you're an adult and you're making the choices you do in your writing, and I'm not going to question those, but if there's an error, a comma error, any kind of punctuation error, I'm going to mark that for you. On occasion, I will give you a live link to show you where to find the rule, or if I don't and you have no idea why I've marked it, don't hesitate to send me an email and let me know, and I can quickly point you to what that rule is. You'll see a resource at the top of our Foxtail page, also The Simple Math of Writing Well. And that is a book that I wrote that is intended just to bring you down to the bare basics of what the grammar rules are. So what are the 6 rules for commas that you need to know? There aren't infinite rules and they aren't constantly changing. They do change on occasion, but at this moment in time, the rules are finite and you can learn them if that's something that you don't feel confident in. I'm just looking for us to engage together, and every time I teach this course it's a little bit different because it's a different mix of students, a different mix of leadership expertise, and I'm excited to get to know who you are and see what you're going to bring to the course, and we're going to come up with something new together over just this week and then certainly over the next 8 weeks. Blessings on you as you're in your home or at work, wherever you might be. If at any point things come together in a way that it's really stressful for you and you need a little break, I'm fairly graceful in terms of offering extensions as long as you let me know beforehand. I am very much a stickler about things being turned in on time and about you hitting the basic requirements in order to achieve the grade you want. But, one more thing in the syllabus. You will notice that I do allow for revisions on any of the papers that we do in this class. So we'll talk about that again as the class gets going, but if you've turned in a paper and you don't earn the grade that you were hoping to get, you have the opportunity to revise it and turn it in again later. But in terms of first deadlines, make sure that you hit them. Otherwise, your grade will decrease each day that you're late. That's all in the syllabus. Discussion forums absolutely have to be in on time in order to earn points. If you have any questions, I am here. You can reach me most easily over email. You can reach me by telephone, but usually it's leave a message and I'll get back to you. So blessings on you as you dig into our content and as you persevere through this time. If you are in the Portland area, looks like the weather is going to be absolutely gorgeous this week. So I hope you can grab your book and head outside somewhere and enjoy. God bless.